Walaikum assalam. Ready when you are.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Juria Ayawali from Rehan School Teachers Training Institute, Batch 24, Level 1. And today Maya is with us for discussion about the topic financial independence. So, hello Maya.
Hello. Happy to be here. I'm ready when you are. Lead the way.
So, what does financial independence mean?
It's basically the point where you don't have to trade your time for a paycheck just to survive. Imagine if your passive income from investments, business, or whatever you've built covered all your living expenses. At that point, working becomes a choice. You're no longer working because you have to, but because you actually want to. It's less about being rich and more about owning your own time.
Why is financial independence important in life?
Because freedom is a hell of a drug. It takes the survival pressure off the table, which changes how you experience everything. When you're not spending every single waking hour worrying about how to pay rent or keep the lights on, you actually have the mental space to ask, what do I actually want to do with my life? That's where the growth mindset really kicks in because you're no longer playing defense with your budget, you're playing offense with your purpose. It turns work into a passion project rather than a chore. You get to prioritize the people and the causes that actually matter to you without a salary being the only thing driving the bus.
How can I increase my income through my new skills?
The real trick is moving from I can do this to this solves a specific expensive problem for someone. One way is to start consulting or freelancing instead of selling your time, sell a result. If you're at the training institute, think about creating a niche workshop or a digital guide that helps other teachers solve a problem they're all struggling with. You could also look into skill stacking where you combine your new skill with what you already know to offer something unique. What exactly are the new skills you've been working on?
How can AI and technology help me improve my financial situation?
AI is like a force multiplier for your income. The most immediate win is efficiency. If AI can handle the grunt work of planning lessons or grading, you've basically bought back hours of your life that you can pivot into higher value work. Beyond that, there's the scaling angle. Instead of trading 1 hour of your time for 1 hour of a student's attention, you can use AI to help build a course or a digital tool that works for people while you're asleep. And on the management side, there are AI driven budgeting and investment tools that take the guesswork out of where your money's actually going. It's less about the tech doing the work for you and more about the tech clearing the path so you can focus on the parts of your business that actually move the needle. Would you be interested in how to actually set up one of those passive income streams?
I would like to move to my next question. What is investing and why is it important?
Investing is basically putting your money to work so you don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. Instead of just saving money in a box, you're buying assets that you expect will grow in value or pay you over time, like stocks, real estate, or even your own education. The why is pretty simple: inflation. If your money just sits there, it actually loses purchasing power over time. Investing is how you outpace that. Plus, there's the magic of compound interest where your earnings start earning their own earnings. It's like a snowball effect for your bank account.
What are some beginner friendly ways to learn about investing?
Honestly, the best place to start isn't with a textbook, but by just listening to people talk about it. I'm a huge fan of podcasts. The Daily often does these great deep dives into the economy, but if you want something more intentional, the memo is fantastic for breaking down how the financial world actually works without making you feel like you need an MBA to understand it. There are also great apps like Investopedia, which is basically the gold standard for looking up any term that sounds like gibberish, but honestly, you'd probably learn more by just talking to people around you who have actually managed to build something. What's the part that feels the most intimidating about it?
What are assets and liabilities?
The simplest way to think about it is that assets put money in your pocket and liabilities take money out. An asset is something you own that has value or generates income, like a rental property, stocks, or even a business you've built. A liability is basically any financial obligation you owe, like a car loan, credit card debt, or a mortgage. The tricky part is that some things look like assets but act like liabilities. For example, your primary home is technically an asset, but until you sell it, it's mostly just taking money out of your pocket every month for maintenance and taxes. The goal of financial independence is basically just stacking as many assets as possible while keeping your liabilities in check.
Why is financial education important for young people?
Because the financial system doesn't exactly hand out a manual at graduation. Most young people are thrown into the world knowing how to solve for X in an algebra equation, but they have no idea how to read a lease or avoid a predatory loan. That knowledge gap is where a lot of people get trapped in a cycle of debt before they even hit 30. Giving them these tools early changes the game from reacting to their finances to actually designing their lives. It's the difference between feeling like a passenger in your own life and actually being the one driving. I'm not s-
So, how can
My
I
bad.
avoid unnecessary debt?
The biggest trap is usually the buy now, pay later mentality. Um, to really steer clear, you've got to be ruthless about the difference between a need and a want. If it's a want, wait 48 hours before buying it. Usually, the urge disappears. Then try the cash rule. If you can't pay for it in cash right now, you can't afford it. And finally, build a small emergency fund. That way, when life happens, you're not forced to reach for a high interest credit card just to get by.
Why is financial education important for young people?
Actually, we just touched on this. One thing I missed before is that it doesn't just protect them from debt, it gives them the confidence to actually take risks. When you understand the rules of the game, you're more likely to make a move that could actually change your trajectory. What's next on the list?
How can I set
I'm just
realistic
keeping the rhythm.
financial goals?
Break them down into three different timelines. Start with the short term, like building an emergency fund, then move to midterm, maybe saving for a specific tool or certification, and finally, long term, where you map out that bigger vision of financial independence. The trick is to make sure each goal is specific, measurable, and has a deadline. So you're not just dreaming about it, but actually tracking your progress.
Okay, so it would be my last question now. How can I stay motivated when my financial progress is slow?
Zoom out. When the numbers aren't moving, it's easy to feel like you're stuck. But the truth is, the biggest gains in finance are like the biggest gains in learning. They happen in the quiet gaps where you don't see any movement at all. It's just the work that builds the foundation. You've talked a lot about the growth mindset, and this is the ultimate test of it. Instead of focusing on the bank balance, focus on the habits because the balance is just a delayed reflection of the systems you've put in place. Once those systems are locked in, the acceleration is inevitable.
Okay, thank you so much, Maya, to be with us and sharing your thoughts. See you again with another topic on the same channel, The Wisdom Talk. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.
It was a pleasure. Allah Hafiz. I can't wait to see what we tackle next on the Wisdom Talk.